It's statements like this that lead you to believe that China has become emboldened. President Xi was not talking like this, rather, a year or two ago.
Unlikely, maybe even inconceivable a few years ago.
Well, immediately, the situation gets quite interesting. And that's because Mars, the red planet, Mars, is in the exact same portion as is the Sun. So, right from the start, we have a striking thing happen. See that the CCP was founded with Mars rising in conjunction with the solar power. Mars marks the day itself. Mars has a powerful stake in the CCP. Some have described the CCP as being 100 years of tyranny. I might use the word treachery. Mars is a malefic star, which means literally a doer of harm, a doer of bad things. The Sun, as you can see, is truly the king, the one possessing power and authority to rule over the nation itself, the one that must take charge and govern and rule as the sole authority. So it's not a good thing to have the star of discord and violence so tightly enmeshed in the affairs of the ruler, the Sun. Mars is sort of riding on the back of the Sun, the monkey on one's back kind of situation. Ultimately, you would like to see the Sun free from the influence of harmful stars. That it is a rather obvious thing I am drawing your attention to that is being presented to us as a phenomena to take into account speaks for itself. My simple point is that in our investigation, we will be focusing our attention on the star of Mars a lot. Real quick, let's look together at the lots associated with these two planets. So, when the Sun and Mars are taken together as a unit, we have handed down to us what is called the lot of treachery, perhaps the lot of tyranny, the lot of military campaigns, and the lot of travel abroad, which means outside of your country. It goes without saying that treachery is bad. It is a willful betrayal of fidelity, confidence, or trust, a violation of allegiance. No one wants that for a fortune. Yet even a cursory overview of what has transpired in the CCP, this is a precise description. Military campaigns and travel abroad as topics will become important to us when we see the timing for when this Mars is activated. I never really look to the outer planets. I stick to the Hermetic Seven simply because the seven form an interlocking system where each relates authentically to each other. It has integrity. It forms a system. It's not arbitrary or subject to what you feel. Only after you understand the true meanings of the seven planets as given in the tradition do you even earn the right to look beyond them. I am dead serious about this point. But here is a chart where Pluto's nature, whatever that might be, will be impossible to overlook or outrun. Pluto is in the same degree as the Sun and Mars at sunrise. That is a big deal. Pluto has found a way to become manifest. They're all within a single solitary degree of the zodiac. They're so tightly conjoined, they are said to be yoking together. And Pluto now has an inroad into the mix. So this monstrously tremendous and overwhelming orbit of Pluto must be reckoned with. This is not an easy task. Pluto in Greek is Hades. You don't want to go there, and you certainly don't want to live there. So yeah, if you thought the Sun-Mars thing was a hurtful thing, adding in Pluto, this explains the major human rights violations throughout China's reign right from the start. The fact that some 80 million people died because of genocide. These rulers literally possess the goal of obliterating all memory of their previous culture.
Mao wanted to wipe out Chinese history. That's why the Red Guard went around in China and tried to destroy everything, every element of China's history prior to approximately 1960. Right, that great culture, thousands and thousands of years old.
To say that is evil is an understatement. This is Pluto. This is the annihilation of whatever is before you. In the broadest sense, this timing technique turns out to be an extraordinarily accurate method, as you'll see in a moment, for rendering a life intelligible. If you want to disprove astrology for yourself, give this a try. We have before us a technique that you can base solid, concrete predictions on regarding what the life will look like when certain types of events happen, as promised in the nativity itself. This is not subjective. I'm not doing psychology. Actual events will appear in conjunction with the activation of a new period of time, and the nature of the planet that is currently activated will determine the nature of the events. I want you to notice that the planet Mars never had its own exclusive chapter in this timing technique. Mars was active, it's true, in other ways, but never as the primary time releaser of fortune, which is the most major indicator in a forecast. Mars became the active ruler of fortune on January 23rd, 2019. The World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global crisis that very same week. Out of 100 years, the first time Mars is the primary ruler of fate, this is what happens upon the commencement of the new chapter. Is that an accident? To recapitulate, Mars, the planet of war, was found rising in the same degree as the Sun at sunrise, the day the CCP was founded. This means Mars will have a very fundamental role in the nature of the CCP. Mars became active for the first time in January 2019, and that same exact week we have a global crisis. Some believe deliberate attack. Pluto being with Mars means the effect of Mars is now taken to a global scale because of the all-encompassing nature of its orbit. Pluto by itself is about annihilation. Pluto, or Hades, hell, is clearly seen to relate to fascism and communism. These two things, as a power in the world, always end up being the greatest abuses. China was not like this a year or two ago. We are able to determine the reasons why. The timing of COVID-19 perfectly fits the horoscope of China using the primary Time Lord procedure of the ancient astrologers.
China, for the first time in history, is positioning itself as a global military power.